to him, and I thought that was amazing. You want growth as a player, but also you have to develop leaders, and Porzingis there with the finish.
Understandable losses, you're going to feel a little bit. Dallas will not attempt another shot.
Golden State doing it here in the third as Harden comes up short. This crowd is stunned. The 65-win Rockets are knocked off. The number one.
If you swap 2017 James Harden's club with present-day Luka's hookah lounge, the two players are nearly exact, and I think Luka Dončić is really just prime James Harden. And people are going to hear this and think that it's a massive dig to Luka Dončić, but in reality, it's only partially a dig. I mean, I think people forget how great prime James Harden really was. He was one of the greatest scorers, is one of the greatest scorers of all time. An MVP winner on the NBA 75th anniversary team. Nearly took the 2017 Houston Rockets to the NBA Finals, if not for that epic meltdown in Game 7. And he's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. So again, only a partial knock. But with James Harden, we knew his flaws. They were very, very obvious, and Harden never really improved on them. But those same flaws, Luka Dončić has. I mean, we start with the usage rate. Both Harden and Luka need the ball, and it really hurts the team's success. Yes, the stat line's always filled, including the assists, but in reality, a very good team like the KD Warriors, like the 2024 Boston Celtics, can easily game plan them. Because once you're able to sort of contain a Luka, a Harden, the rest sort of takes care of itself, because there's no real fluid movement of the ball. And in 2017, we saw it in Game 7, and last Friday, the Celtics-Mavs game, we saw it then because the Celtics absolutely blew out the Mavericks, despite Luka having a 30-something point triple-double. So to me, that's almost exactly the same. They always need the ball. Then the second thing that they both struggle with is defense. They are truly one-way players, but offensive stats are like the sexy stats that sell. Defensive stats don't really, so people sometimes overrate these players. I mean, I know people are saying that Luka's defense has improved because of some advanced metrics that mean absolutely nothing, but what I'll say to that is, it's very easy for a 300-pound dude to lose 20 pounds. I mean, the bar is essentially non-existent. So it's sort of the same thing with Luka's defense. You're basically improving from zero defense to a little defense. And then the final thing with the two of them is they do not have the ability to make those around them better. And in most cases, the players around them almost get worse. With James Harden, it was Chris Paul, it was Russell Westbrook. And once the two of them left Houston, they started to play a lot better. Russell Westbrook had a great season with the Washington Wizards, a season that doesn't get talked about enough because the Wizards are trash. And then Chris Paul was the point guard, alongside Devin Booker, leading the team to the NBA Finals. With Luka Dončić, it's the same thing, if not worse. Because you look at Jalen Brunson, was seen as sort of a third, fourth option with the Mavs. He goes to the New York Knicks, he becomes a borderline superstar, and somebody this year that will finish top 10 in the MVP. With Kristaps Porzingis, he's like relegated to the go stand in the corner. He even admitted that on a podcast with JJ Redick. But then he goes to the Wizards, has a resurgence, and now he's an all-star caliber player with the Boston Celtics, contributing both offensively and defensively. And then when the players are actually on the team, like currently, for Luka Dončić, Kyrie Irving seems so much less effective than when he was on the Brooklyn Nets. And I hate to say it, but even when Kyrie was on the Boston Celtics, Kyrie just seems as sort of a sidekick, but somebody that's never going to be able to showcase his full talent. And so with James Harden, as a first option, he could never win a championship. I felt that strongly at the time in his prime, the years when he was averaging like 35 a game. I just felt like there wasn't enough team ball and he was too selfish of a player. And the same thing kind of applies with Luka Dončić. The inability to make those around him better, the inability to really sacrifice. And I do not think that Luka Dončić is a first option, despite how talented he is, will ever win a championship. He'll need to do something like James Harden did with Philly and currently with the Clippers, become a second or third option and try to win that way, but not as the best player on the team.